I know I was saying 5 o'clock, but I decided to just hop on about 5 minutes early just to get everything prepped up. So I'm still in the process of prepping everything. I know I popped on about 5 minutes early. I was getting impatient. Just give it a couple of minutes. I'm still prepping things up. I accidentally started it early anyway, so I know I'm saying like I did it on purpose, but yeah, I was accidental. I started on accident, but I'm just gonna let it go for a few minutes anyway. If you guys want to stick around, that's fine. Yeah, I'm early. I accidentally started the live stream while I was fiddling around with stuff, but I'm just gonna let it run anyway since it's only going to be a few minutes anyway. I was getting my notes up and stuff before before the stream started, and I was also getting Discord all set up. So if you guys don't mind hanging around watching me fart around trying to get things running, just for a couple of minutes, then we'll get started. Then we'll get started. Anyway, let's see. I'm pretty sure you saw the video of the anime Comic Con that I went to last weekend. It was fairly small in comparison to the ones I've been to so far. I said farting around, not farting. Anyway, if I was going to be sitting here farting, it would be more entertaining. But anyway, let's see here. What I got? Drink, snacks. I think I'm all prepped up. Okay. Um, Hey everyone, this is Dave on CRPG Dungeons and Dragons Night, and we're doing a live stream. This is now officially going to be called Talking Shop. So whenever you hear me saying Talking Shop, this is what I'm talking about right here. And anyway, I having a complete panic attack for some reason because I completely forgot what I was going to be starting off with, other than going to close the door because Miley just came in. I have no idea if I'm going to be joined by Bots and Blasters or CJ today. I haven't been back to Wizardry yet. Um, Long story. Well, it's going to be a long story anyway. Last Thursday, my dad got into a really bad accident. He took a tumble on the porch outside. Um, One of the early there was a video I made a couple days ago where it shows the pictures. He banged up his face, he broke a finger, and bruised up both his hands really bad. He's still laid up still, but so if I periodically walk away, I'm checking up on him right now. So he's actually in worse shape than he's been since he moved here. Um, but yeah, we spent about 9 hours at the hospital because I just got off work at midnight. We got home. The guy that was supposed to relieve me showed up late, so we ended up not getting home till around 1. And he slipped. Dad, I get up to the door first, and I usually open up the door and I turn around and I help him up the step. But he was already heading up the step by the time I got to the door. So when I turned around, he was already falling. Had to call 911 because I can't lift him. And so we ended up spending about 9 hours at the hospital, making sure he didn't have a concussion. And I ended up not doing very much over the weekend except for the Comic Con anime convention that I went to just around the corner here with, and Dad wanted to go anyway. He was in his wheelchair, so he was fine. But we went and took a lot of pictures and some videos, and I made the little video of that Sunday night. So, and then of course you saw that I was having an issue with Dragon Age. Well, Friday Night Randomness, I actually had that already set up and ready on by Wednesday, so I was already home at that point. So I wasn't going anywhere. So I was here and I was just doing that, but I was keeping an eye on him at the same time, since I didn't have to sit here and talk or do a recording or anything. There wasn't much in the line of interference. So Friday Night Randomness, that was a thing, but yeah, that the video itself was already done Wednesday night. I pretty much have most of the stuff set up for next week already for Friday Night Randomness. Um, you might have also noticed I was having problems with Dragon Age, and it had to do with well, when I stopped the recording for the first session, it was right before the glitch, which I didn't know there was going to be a glitch. Well, I figured out the problem. Um, Daffy Duck was helpful on that one. Because I was trying to figure out what was going on. It kept stopping. I don't. You probably saw it where it was like it stops on the girl talking, and she's just sitting there like this, like kind of waiting. But there was supposed to be a strip of dialogue choices at the bottom, and it wasn't showing up. So here's the quick fix for that: turn off widescreen, put it on standard screen. 4:3, and that fixed the problems miraculously. Also, I realized I didn't have any of the DLC loaded, and I couldn't figure out why, because it wasn't listed anywhere. Because you're supposed to have like the extra campaign stuff listed, and you can click on them and choose them and all that stuff. None of it was there. So of course I went to the community server on Steam to find out what the hell's going on, and it turned out EA. Okay, I hate EA. I'm gonna put that up front because they have a tendency of screwing things up without trying. So, well, what happened was everything was running fine, but I think it was a friend of mine. He plays Dragon Age, and he said, you skipped a whole bunch of stuff in the castle before you get to the thing, because right where I was, it would have continued into the story, and I wouldn't have been able to get back to the castle at all to collect any of the stuff that's there. So I basically went to an earlier save and went back through everything and whatnot. And that's pretty much what that is. Is basically from the moment I'm introduced to my character is introduced to his father and the Grey Warden and the other noblemen. I restarted from there and continued. And what ended up happening was once you get to your family, and everybody's saying their goodbyes to each other. Right after that, it cuts to a night scene where you get up out of bed. Your character gets up out of bed, and depending on how you played it, you either wake up alone, you wake up with the elf girl, or you wake up with the visiting noblewoman's son. Because, like I mentioned, I think I mentioned in another video, you can actually go both ways on this in this game. I think it was like one of the first to do that. So So you had options of, when you talk to, there's no sex scene or anything. It's just both of you just kind of wake up and, the guy's dog is barking, and which is one of your characters. You actually get to keep the dog. So the dog's barking, and the first time it happened, the dog's barking, and it just froze there, and that was when I was by myself. So I replayed it again from, back from the beginning where with the king and all that, or the Lord and all that, come back, and I rearranged it to where I was going to wake up with my character. I keep saying I, but one of the characters is going to wake up with the girl. She wakes up and she makes a comment, but about the dog barking, but nothing happens. And the reason I was asking about the blue ribbon, which you need to get to the lower levels on the 7th floor, is a golden dragon. Yeah, I think I'm aware of that. Like I said, I do know a little bit of the walkthroughs on that. It's just I don't actually know the maps like I should. Um, the ribbon I'm aware of because it's mentioned in the anime. Oh, I lost two people already. But yeah, right around the same point, it would do the same thing. There's supposed to be a list of dialogue choices, and nothing was showing up. So it turned out you had to turn off the widescreen and put it to standard screen, and that fixes the problem. The other problem was all the DLC wasn't showing up. I couldn't figure out why. And like I said, it was an EA thing. For some reason or another, EA or whatever company or Origin or whatever the company it is, they came up with this idea that you had to go through their website to get, and put in the CD key to get the DLC to run on the game. There's a small problem with that. The website is no longer there. So now what do I do? I go on YouTube and start, doing what I normally do, asking around and stuff. And I don't know what it is with the top with it. Whenever it is, I try to look up some sort of information on technical issues on YouTube. I always end up with some person with the thickest Indian accent on earth, and I have the hardest time trying to understand the person. And of course, they got a deep voice as well, and they're like talking right up against the mic. So talking right up against the mic, so I gotta listen. So I'm really trying my best to understand the person. And I figured out that there was a couple of files that all I had to do was just upload the two files, and boom, the DLC works. Exactly. And I'm just sitting there. Well, it turned out, all I had to do was like I said, I went to the game's files in Steam, the Steam app, went into the files and searched around for these two particular files, and downloaded them. Bam, there's the DLC. It's all there now. So that's all fixed. So hopefully, next time I get to the game, all the DLC and the story can continue without any more issues. Let's see. Next game, I'm going to be getting back to. I keep saying we're going to get back to it, but every time something wrong happens, and that's going to be going back to Forgotten Realms. Yeah, I'm like down to 12 games now, because the memory on my computer just decided to go kaput for some reason. Hence why I keep saying I'm in the market for a new computer. Uh, I have not. I'm like I said, I've been kind of busy with my own stuff right now, just trying to get my own shit going. So When I get the chance, I'll check out your channel. No, no problem. Um, but I was surprised how far I got. I made it down to the ninth floor this time, and before I ran into getting killed. I might come back to it from that point to see if I can get any further. But at the time, the game was running it was running so long. It was like almost 3 hours, the video. And that was not including the other stuff I added to the video to make it a Friday night randomness. But yeah, Pool of Radiance, I'll probably be playing that tonight right after I get off this. And hopefully have it up by some point tomorrow. Then I don't know if I'll be hanging out with CJ Sunday night, but we'll probably get back to well, we'll be getting to some game. I don't know what right now because like I said, I've had to offload a lot of stuff off of my computer recently because it just decided to have next to no memory to it for some reason. But fantasy is also up on the list. Oh, I know, I know. Um, but like I said, I've got so much stuff on my own plate right now. I really haven't had time to watch other videos. I barely have time to go and check my emails lately. I actually had to force myself to have the time to do this tonight. Hello, second person. Well, actually, I think you might be the fifth person because two others showed up earlier, but I think they left. Unless you're one of those other two people and decide to come back. Um, but yeah, so oh yeah. Speaking of, I mentioned conventions earlier. I'm going to be going to another convention February 3rd and maybe 4th, and that's going to be over at the fairgrounds where the that big one I went to last year was. It's the same spot, but it's a different company doing that one. And the one that does the other one that I went to last year will be on the 16th of March. So there's two conventions within a couple months of each other. And then I found out there's going to be, where is that pamphlet? Oh, for the love of Pete. Well, there is another convention. I believe it was on May 17th, or it could have been May 15th. I don't know where the pamphlet that I have for it is. But I had picked it up while I was at the one over here at the 509. And so there's apparently last year there was like next to nothing convention wise. I think there was like one or two, and I think I erased one of them off of my channel because the music became an issue, and I didn't want to. And really, there wasn't anything going on with that video, anyways. Just a bunch of random pictures. So I just ended up getting rid of it anyway. But I'm still looking for it. Clean up the table and I start losing stuff. Dad's talking on the phone, and I can hear him in here with the door closed. And he's on the other side of the house. Oh, yeah, he's feeling better, by the way. Uh, Well, when it comes around to it, I'll figure it out. But anyway, so yeah, there's going to be a, convention over at the fair, over at the local fairgrounds at around February 3rd. I'm going to be going to that. Hopefully, I can talk CJ into going to that one too. And of course, my dad's going to be there because how else am I going to get over there? Um, let's see. Yeah, let me check out my schedules here. Yeah, it's the Anime Gaming Con 2024. And they call it the Big Fresno Fair, but it's basically the Fresno Fairgrounds. I don't know why they call it the Big Fresno Fair. It ain't really that big. I've been to bigger ones in other towns. Uh, but yeah, it says it's going to be 2 weeks, 7 hours, 4 minutes, and 0 seconds. Well, of course, they're calling it the largest anime gaming TCG FGC convention in the Central Valley. 2 days of fun with friends and family celebrating anime and gaming coming together in one place. Featuring cosplay contests, video game tournaments, trading card game tournaments, anime cars, special guests, and so much more. And then it doesn't get into any exact details. Um, I think that's a dude in drag. No. Well, apparently it's being sponsored by the Fresno State University, Fresno City College, Reedley College. Well, apparently a lot of local colleges are sponsoring the damn thing. Cute. Uh, anyways, that's the one. That's the Anime Gaming Con, as they're calling it. And that's going to be February 3rd. What else? Then we got the Anime Con. That's ANI dash me. And that's going to be on the March 16th. So at least that gives me a little time in between things to get me some money before I can go in there and lose it. But so that's what the cons. So I got about 3 of them to look forward to, and the Ren Fair later at the end of the year. Which I noted, I don't think I mentioned it when I went to the last Renaissance Fair outside of town. I was kind of surprised to see how many people are dressed up in anime characters. Like this is a Ren Fair. Why is there so many anime characters walking around? So people were just dressing up and showing up regardless. Well, it was like it was weird. Anyway, so uh JP, I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite kind of gaming style when it comes to CRPGs? Because the one I'm kind of warmed up to at the moment is the style that Pool of Radiance kind of has, where it starts off as kind of the dungeon delve, or the what do you call it, dungeon crawl, and then when you get into the combat, it goes into the more strategic miniatures looking stuff. I'm kind of partial to those ones. Those seem to be my favorites, but so far. Um, but any ones where that's like they try to do, they have that kind of thing, but they try to do different spins on it. I kind of like those. Um, but and I think the ones I kind of dislike as an RPG is so far has been Diablo, with the single player walking around in a nondescript dungeon area with the monsters in the background kind of blending into each other, where I couldn't tell what was what half the time. And by the way, I dropped Diablo. I don't think I'm going to continue playing it because I tried playing it the other day and I was going to record it, but I got extremely bored playing it, so I just want to forget it, and it's no longer on the channel. I'm going to leave the videos up, of course, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'm done. It suddenly got very quiet here. Are you having any problems running Baldur's Gate? Because recently I tried to install it into the computer. I was going to see if I could play it again. Maybe get past the fucking trolls, and the game won't load. It installs, but then when I hit play, it does nothing. It doesn't. The game won't start boot up. Yeah, I've been noticing that a lot with a lot of the Steam games within the last few months. A lot of them are suddenly having these issues with starting up or booting up or not completely installing like they should. But yeah, Baldur's Gate's like the third one now that I've started having issues with, and Dragon Age is the only one where actually been able to fix some of the issues. It could just be this computer's the thing that's a problem. It's probably this thing's 3 years old, so it's probably starting to finally wear down, and I just probably need to get a better computer. That could be very well the issue most of the time anyway. So, but yeah, um, I was actually gonna start up again. I was gonna do a recording yesterday before I decided to do Dragon Age, and when I was I'd uploaded it, or yeah, I'd uploaded not uploaded. God damn it, I'm trying to think of the right word. But yeah, I put it, I uploaded it on the computer, and then when I tried to boot up the game, it didn't do anything. It just, it shows, the little screen that says, play the game, and you click on it, and then nothing happens. It just goes right back to the computer doing its normal thing. So yeah, I probably just need to get a different computer, and I can donate this one to Dad so he can play solitaire all day long. Mm, mm. Yeah, this is the problem I'm talking about. Yesterday, I had 49.5 GB free on my hard drive. Mind you, I haven't uploaded or downloaded anything on my computer within the last 2 days, and it was up to 49 as of last night. And I get on my computer today, and it's down to 27.5. And I've done nothing on my computer. And I'm trying to figure out, well, what the hell happened to make it half like that? Well, at one time I was buying Hewlett Packard laptops. This is a Lovetto, but yeah, I used to buy Hewlett Packard ones, and a couple. I think it was. I think I had to buy a new one each year because by the end of the year the computer would crack. It would completely bottom out. And then I think I went for about 2 years without a computer at all in the house. That was terrifying. And I'd say, and it was mainly because I didn't have a job at the time, so I couldn't afford to buying a computer. So, of course, when I ended up being a security guard about 5 years ago, I waited a little while before I finally bought myself a computer. Now I got one, and this thing's about 3 years old now. I bought one. What was it? Yeah, I think I bought one. I think you were around there at that time. I bought one last year, roughly around the same time, another laptop, and it has so much trash in it from the initial boot up. I couldn't get the computer to run properly. It had all the advertisements and had a whole bunch of advertisements and trash programs in. And even when I thought I got rid of all of it, it was still like just running. I know I can't seem to what do you call it, pin down where it is in my computer because I keep finding programs that aren't supposed to be on my computer and then I get rid of them and then new ones show up. So somewhere I'm missing something. And then here's the funny thing. This computer it was I'm going to point this out to you. 2019. I think I got in 2019. So yeah, actually, yeah, this thing's a little bit more older than 4 years old. So wow, okay. But yeah, all of a sudden I got all these programs in here that I have no idea why they're there. And a lot of them actually have a date on them, which I'm kind of surprised. I'm just sitting there going like, why does it say 2007? Okay, that's the camera. Yeah, I do, and half the time they want me to pay more shit every time it does something. Hmm. Morning April. Oh, April Richardson. Oh, yeah, we were talking about my laptop. I used to have a whole bunch of games on my computer, but recently it just has been crashing a lot lately. So I've been trying to figure out what the problem is. Apparently, I got hit with a virus and I can't seem to locate it, and it's been crashing a lot of my games. That's why suddenly, I had like up to 20 some odd games running for the channel. Now I'm down to like uh, little under 12. I forgot. Yeah, it's like morning where you are, JP. And I think April left already. Mm. Well, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Uh, hmm. Whoa, I didn't click on anything. Why are you adding stuff? Yeah. Let's get back to what I was talking about here. What are you talking about? Really? All right, I'll get some pets. But so yeah, even though I gave like a list of games I was playing, it ended up changing again over the weekend. Still got Bard's Tale, Wizardry Proving Grounds, finishing up on Dungeon Punks, Legend of Grimrock. Now we got Dragon Age Origins in replace of um, what was that one? Pathfinder Kingmaker. Then we're going to go to Pool of Radiance. And here's one that I been wanting to play, but it never showed up until recently, which is Fantasy, spelled Phantasie. And it's the memorial set, so it's all three games of the trilogy, made by the same company that's made the Gold Box games. And this was before they had the Gold Box games going, so it's kind of a forerunner. To my understanding, this was one of the games that got SSI to get the license for AD&D at the time. Then, of course, we go into Retro Arch, where we can play. Um, I'm going to be playing Wizardry Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, the Nintendo version, on my next uh, Friday Night Randomness, just to so we could point out the differences between the new version and that version. And did I remove Shadowrun? Apparently. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so Shadowrun and Order of the Griffin are still there, so they're still on the list. And of course, ending it off with Temple of Elemental Evil. SSI was a strategy war game company. They did a lot of war games for computers, PC computers. And when um, they they started going into what do you call it? Uh, Role playing games, and they were the ones that started putting the strategy element into RPGs. So when AD&D was up for grabs to be licensed out for gaming companies, SSI was the one that snatched it up, and it was because of the RPGs that they did that they got the license, and they had the license for quite a while. Yeah, I did. I wanted to get the Japanese one, which had the three games together, but I couldn't find a emulator with an English translation. So, even though I've seen it on YouTube, where they've had the English translated version of the SNE or the SNES or SNES version, whatever you want to pronounce it as. I was much rather wanting to get that one, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Most I could find SNES wise was Wizardry 5, which I think was basically a standalone one. Heart of the Maelstrom, I think it was called. Which I used to have that one for when I had an SNES. That was one of my favorites. Never got anywhere in it though. She's snoring again. She's been basically around my feet snoring all day. But yeah, starting yeah. So yeah, next Friday Night Randomness, I'm probably gonna take an extended time just on playing uh, Nin- Nintendo versions of Wizardry games. I might even throw in Wizardry 5. Um, yeah, by the time I was into Wizardry games, I think I was already in my I was already in my 20s, and it was when Wizardry Gold, which was the revamped version of Wizardry 7 was out, and I bought that when it just came out, and there was no. It was one of those things where it was like I just happened across and said, "Hey, that looks like a cool game." Hmm. What are you doing? But oh, what was I saying here? I played Wizardry 5. I think I bought that used copy over at a used game store about a year later. -2. Don't have that issue here. It actually got warm in the house. It was cold earlier. I was wearing my ugly Christmas sweater for a little while. I don't know if I showed that off to you guys. Yeah, I picked it up. I forgot what store had it, but yeah, they had some internet store was selling ugly D&D shirts, sweaters. So of course, I had to get one. Really? Well, here. I think I had it in one video, but it was in a spot where you guys couldn't exactly see it. So yeah, here's the ugly D&D sweater. There's the front, and there's the back. And it's got dice and flames and the dragon and on the sleeves. Big dragon head here. I think there's like a castle on the back with stuff on it, and dragon on it as well. And the funny thing is I was supposed to get this before Christmas, and I was going to wear it as kind of like a Christmas special kind of thing, do a Christmas video or something. I ended up not getting it until a week after New Year's. And the funny thing is by the time it showed up, I forgot I had even ordered it. Really? You want out? Don't growl at me. You're getting sassy in your old age, woman. There you go. You're giving me attitude. Yeah, it was supposed to be other people said they were going to be joining me tonight, but yeah, I'm not getting any contact from anybody. Because I advertised I was going to have one on this morning. I think you might have saw the video this morning. I put a video up, I've been posted up, and nobody ever shows up. I swear, I must be picking the worst time for everybody. Or it's like you said that one time that I got a little upset about it was when you said that I wasn't a cute cosplayer girl. Since I'm not a cute cosplayer girl or a girl in a hot tub, I'm not worth everyone's time. And the thing is like, when I put those advertisements, oh, I can't wait to show up for that. That's gonna be so cool. And then those same people never show. And that happens so often. It's gotten to the point where I just say, you know what? When you show up, you show up. If not, oh well. Yeah, that one. I'm gonna take this off. I'm sweating in it. We got a house heater that causes me to sweat. I don't even know. Originally I was gonna, turn that temperature so I could wear that through the whole video, but the thing gets a little itchy after a while. And I sweat like crazy in those things. Uh, I was gonna look up something real quick here. Do you remember? You might know what I'm talking about here. Remember Choose Your Own Adventure books, right? And TSR had their own brand called Endless Quest. I've been trying to find those lately. Because I remember reading those in the school library in elementary school, and that was back when I didn't know those were D&D books. But I remember it was one called trying to remember which one it was, but it was one where you play a monk in it, and you're trying to find like some sort of staff or something. I'm trying to remember the name of it, and there's like some sort of sorceress pursuing you, to get it from you or something like that. And one particular, there's like there's this horrific picture in it where it's like it shows your character like this going on the ground, and there she is standing over you, basically doing the emperor frying you with electricity kind of thing. But I just remember that one, and I don't remember the title of it. But I just remember that image of this sorcerer over just frying this kid. It was basically they describe you as being like a young man or a kid, and you're like barely knowing anything about martial arts or whatever, and you got the sorcerer chasing after you, and that was one of the things was you just she just fries you. I just went like, damn. And then there was another book I can't. I think I do remember that one. It was called Revolt of the Dwarves, and I think I got turned into a tree in one of the endings. But yeah, it wasn't until like years later I found out that Endless Quest was based on the various games TSR had out at the time, because I know they did Top Secret as well as D&D and Gamma World and a couple of other games that they had out at the time. Gamma World. I think they also had a space one, uh, but I can't remember what the name of that one either. Well, when all else fails, just look it up. Okay. Okay, tactical studies rules. Alternative. Oh, there it is. Star Frontiers. They also did Marvel Heroes. Of course, Indiana Jones. Gamma World, Dungeons and Dragons. They made a role-playing game out of Buck Rogers. Oh, here she comes. There she is. She just busted the door down. Looks like they even had Dragonlance as its own separate thing for a while, which kind of explains a lot. Anyway, I'm gonna go close the door. At around 6:30, I'm probably gonna take, like, a 10-minute break because, I promised dad I was gonna fix him a couple of frozen burritos. So, bear with me on that one. Yeah, this is what I hate about live streams is, like, when I have things planned out, they never go as planned. Hmm. It's like when you throw a party and everybody says they're gonna show up, so you have all this stuff set up and tables and party favors and all that, then no one shows up. Well, I cook them before I give them to them. And that's what he asked for. I'm not making him do it. Alright, come on. Trying to figure out figures. But, yeah, around 6:30, I'm gonna get him something to eat, a couple burritos to eat, and then, I'll get back to this. And hopefully some people will show up in Discord, but, the, I wanted to talk about for a little bit about, the systems I've been playing on the different games I've been playing on the channel lately. And, I think I mentioned that, the ones I've liked so far is the one with I mentioned it a little bit earlier with starts off kind of dungeon crawl, and then you have I actually put them in an air fryer. And I don't just give them to them frozen, I actually heat them up. I put them in an air fryer for about 6 minutes, makes them crispy. But, anyway, so, yeah, I'd like I if I could figure out how to do that kind of stuff on, a live stream, I'd show you what I'm talking about, but when you have, like, say, the early gold box games where it was the dungeon crawl and you're going through, and then when you have the combat, you go into the strategic positioning of everything. I like those, and I like what, say, Baldur's Gate and all of them where they have the, POV from the top, and you can kind of strategize what you wanna do with the combat. Um, Wizardry, however, I how do I put it? Wizardry, you kinda have to do put your imagination into how it's working out because you can't exactly it's all POV through the whole thing no matter what. And then you got, oh, what was that one? Eye of the Beholder, which is basically a group version of, Dungeon Hack, I would say, which I think Dungeon Hack came later. But, the reason I bring that up is because it's basically the same fighting style. You have to click on in real time in order to get the fight going, so it's all real time. And I'm gonna say that one's kinda weird for me, especially when you got a party and you gotta click on each thing. Like, what's that one game I'm playing? Legend of Grimrock. It's kinda the same style, but, yeah, it's kinda weird where it's like you have the 2 people in front and 2 people in back, and they're like that the entire time. So, that kind of, the suspension of disbelief kind of, it's kinda hard for me. Like, you saw the one puzzle where you have to sidestep, and I have a very vivid imagination. So, I'm sitting there and the so you got these 4 people, 2 up front, 2 in the back, and they're exactly in that rigid position the entire time. So, I have to sidestep, so my imagination is seeing all 4 of these people in this perfect square, sidestepping, one of them throwing a rock, sidestepping back, and then going through the door like I had figured out. But it's the suspension from disbelief is kind of rough for me right there because I'm like sitting there going like, I can't imagine people, all 4 people just standing right here, eh, throw rock, eh, move forward. It's just kind of weird to me. So it's like when I see games like Baldur's Gate or something like that, where you're actually watching the group walk around you know, and you can actually strategize what positions they're in and stuff. I kind of like that. But yeah, sometimes the dungeon crawls when they do certain kind of puzzle stuff, it kind of kills it for me. Not saying that's a bad game. It's just when it comes to immersion, it kind of throws me when they do stuff like that. And but yeah, when they got some good puzzles in there, and I was surprised. It was I know I'm stuttering a lot tonight, but I'm going back to that one particular puzzle. It kind of reminds me of when it comes to puzzles. There was what was it, a beginner set that they had for AD&D back in the early mid '90s, and this was before third edition came out. And I think I got the box. I bought a box over at a KB's toy store while I was working at a pretzel maker. It was my first job at the time, so and I think it was like the first D&D product I ever bought, and it was some beginner set, and it came with a CD that helped you with building the game and stuff. You can find the CD on YouTube somewhere. Exactly, even though it's 4 different character types. But uh, there's this great bit in it at the beginning where they have these very poor voice actors. I don't mean poor as in no money. I mean as in they're terrible voice actors. And it's this kid. He shows up. He goes, "Hey guys, I just bought the new Dungeons and Dragons game." And it's like one person, goes, "Oh, I heard that's so hard." Blah blah blah. And they're going through the whole thing. And and then they get their group together, which is probably the fastest I've ever heard a D&D group of any type get together. I think they sit down and they have the game ready within 5 seconds. And they go through this routine, and that it's always this one bit, and it's an example I always use when I try to explain Dungeons and Dragons to people, especially new players, which is the pit at the top of a temple. And the whole plot that they're throwing in is they're rescuing some lord from the Temple of the Lizard King or something like that. I think it was an actual scenario that they borrowed from for this little segment. It only goes for like a couple of minutes, and they go up to the top and they find this pit, and this is where they define your measure of choice in the game. Yeah, like I think it was one person mentions that he's just going to step over the pit and he's going to float down. And they go, and everybody talks him out of it. He goes like, "Well, you said I could do anything I want." He goes, "Yeah, within reason." Because he goes, "You could try to float down, but anybody with a brain in their head knows as soon as you step on that, you're going to drop like a rock and you're going to hit the bottom." So, so someone decides, well, I'm going to start. They can see. So he goes, "I'm going to throw a torch down and see what we can find down there." So he throws a torch down. And he sees about halfway down, there's like a passageway about halfway down, and then at the very bottom is like a well, but there's crocodiles or alligators at the bottom, waiting, just in the water waiting for them. And the DM even points out that the torch bopped one of them on the head before it fizzles out in the water. I'm going, that's a nice little touch right there. So I always kept that in mind when they do that. I was like, it bopped them on the head as it went down. And so now that they know that there's a walkway about halfway down, they're trying to figure out how to get down there. So one of them says, "Well, I'm just going to climb down," and it's the fighter. So he starts climbing down. Well, he doesn't just climb down. He says, "Well," he looks through his items, realize, "Oh, I got a rope." So he ties one end down. He goes, starts climbing down, and he makes it okay. Then one of the other characters, I think it was the thief, because they didn't call them rogues yet. The thief goes down, he's okay. The wizard starts to go down, but he slips and falls. And before he hits the water, the fighter reaches out and grabs him and pulls him in. And they're doing this all with dice rolls and stuff, but they're not explaining the dice rolls, how the dice rolls work. So yeah, they go through all that, and then the fourth guy says, "You know what? I'm not going to chance on tying. I'm tying an extra rope around my waist and tying it down before I go down myself." And one of the other players comes, "Hey, I didn't know you could do that." And the guy goes, "Well, you didn't think of it." So he goes down, but he slips and falls. But because he has the rope on him, he's saved. Then they go in, and I always point out that particular story when I try to explain D&D about when it comes to choices, because that's probably a good example of it. So I always say the pit of the Lizard King when I try to explain the story. You can actually look that up somewhere. I don't know what it was called, but it was like it was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Um, God, what was it called? But it was some sort of beginner set with a CD, and that's what it was. And if I can remember the name, I'll bring it up sometime. You can check it out yourself. But I always found that as a very good example. Poorly acted, but a very good example of how to explain D&D to people that never played it. But yeah, that was when, like I said, I was working at a pretzel maker, which was right next to a KB toy store in a mall. So I would occasionally go to like the bookstore, which was further down, and usually pick up a book or something. But I decided to go in there, and that's when I saw that the KB had some D&D stuff in there. And so the thing saying, learn how to play Dungeons and Dragons box set. And I just went, okay, I'll get that. And I think I played that CD to death because I think I found it like a year or two ago again. I found that box, but the CD didn't work like it used to. It was like all scratched up, and I played it so damn much. Let me see if anybody's showing up in Discord yet. Hmm. Why do I even bother sometimes? Well, you're still in the chat, so that counts. I just wish other people would talk in it too. Make actual conversation besides just, me and you just hamming it up for a couple hours. Not saying your company isn't welcome. Your company is always welcome. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here just twiddling my thumbs, wondering what am I supposed to talk about. But yeah, so I think the other one that was a good example of how to play the game. It's what was that VHS game? Dragon Strike. Again, poorly acted, terrible special effects, but a good example of how to run a game. Which was one of the videos I had to get rid of on my channel. Yeah, I did. I think you might have seen it. I did like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of thing for it. But yeah, it was marked as it was non-original content, so I had to get rid of it. I think you mentioned that before. No, I'm one of those people that I have the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other, and they're always agreeing on things. You're always you're in trouble when the devil and the angel start agreeing on stuff. But let's see. Um, well, when I do end up getting, originally the original plan was I was going to have Dragon Age replace Dungeon Punks, but because I ended up having problems with, well, it wasn't a problem. Yeah, it was a problem. I lost, for some reason, my saves for Pathfinder Kingmaker disappeared. Have no idea what happened to them. So I just decided to start with Dragon Age Origins instead. And another game I was having issues with, I forgot what the game was, so I decided to replace it with Fantasy Memorial Set. So now when I get to Dungeon Punks being finished, I now have a gap I need to fill in. And Dungeon Punks, I think, is about three. Hey, Bots and Blasters. Um, just just stopping in for a bit. You not going to do the Discord thing because I sent you a link. Oh, take off for the store. Oh, fine. Real life, kind of has to take precedent over everything else. Well, at around 6:30, I'm taking a little bit of a break, for about 5, 6 minutes, but this will probably be going on for a while. And CJ might join in tonight. He says he's running a little late, but if I'm still going at that point, he might join in too. I just got a text from him, so. But Yeah, I was just discussing yeah, last week I had things planned out a certain way, but because of certain events, I had to change everything again. Story of my life. So, yeah, because Dragon Age now is already being played, I was originally going to have it as the replacement for Dungeon Punks. And since I got that going, it's still going with Dungeon Punks, and Dragon Age and Fantasy are already being going to be played here soon. Uh, there's about 3 or 4 more sessions of Dungeon Punks going to be played, and I got to figure out what am I going to replace them with in a couple months. So that's what I was going to throw in with you guys. Oh, and yeah, bots. Think you might want to. I don't know if we're going to do it this Sunday, but me and CJ might be playing Barony Sunday night around this time. Think you might want to join us. Mm, mm. Hey, no problem. If you can't this like I said, this Sunday is still up in the air. A lot of like you've seen, a lot of the time CJ and I just can't get on the same wavelength a lot of the time. And it's usually due to the fact that we get kind of busy. Uh, this last weekend, it was because of the anime convention I went to, so that kind of bulldozed any other plans that might have been had. And I haven't gotten word from CJ yet about this Sunday, so it might be pushed to the following Sunday. Ouch. Yeah. Right now with me money wise, uh just it's just me trying to get my paychecks half the time. My boss has this tendency of, he keeps the checks with him. So it's like, and then he does jobs himself. He's a security guard too. So it's a lot of the times it's just trying to track his ass down so I can pick up my paycheck. It's supposed to be direct deposit, but for some reason he hasn't been doing direct deposit for like the last half year. And it's been getting a real pain in the ass for all the employees trying to track his ass down. So can we get paid now? I know. But yeah, take your time. We're gonna be playing that game off and on for a while. Um, and like I said, Dungeons and Dragons Online. I don't think we're going to be continuing with that one because, like I said, CJ doesn't know where to go from the game himself, and I was kind of getting bored with it myself anyway. So, and um, I forgot what I was going to say. I hate that, but but yeah. If you can make it back, I'll probably be going at least till around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. So, like last time. So right now, I'm just trying to figure out, and you guys can help me out if you want. Figure out a game to fill in the blank. Oh God. Hope your heating system's working okay. Okay. I don't remember if it was you that suggested it, JP, but Stone Shard. I might be doing the prologue to that for soon. Oh, I got quite a few games here. I'm just deciding which game to put up. Um, okay, that one game, Dragon Commander. That game is so hard. I just the very first mission, I can't get through it. I'm not even going to continue playing it because it's so. How do I put? Oh, oh, well, my daughter can't make it tonight either. But yeah, I was gonna play that one, but yeah, apparently it's so convoluted because I I couldn't keep up with the AI because he was already having full armies prepped and ready and at my walls before I even knew what the hell I was doing, and that was just within minutes of the mission starting. You live in an apartment. You live in a basement. But I am gonna go possibly go through and play the other Divinity games, which I'm told are very good. But and some people were saying, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to go do Dragon Commander anyway because it's so different from the other ones, and really has, and to my understanding, really has no connection to the other games. So I might just drop that one and go on to one of the other games in the Divinity series, maybe. Oh boy, let's see here. I might go. Yeah, I might do that one instead. Uh, I might bring back. You know what? I might bring back the grotesque tactics because I want to finish that one. I was actually having some fun with that one. Those were funny. But the reason I dropped it was because I had so many games on my computer, and I had. You saw how long it was taking me to get back to games after a while, so it's like I had to drop a few of them just so I could have some continuity. Um, I was watching other people's playthroughs of that game, and I have to ask, am I going to rage on that one? Because I can't handle rage games, and a few people have told me that it's one of those ones that would get you infuriated get to if you play certain things or do certain things. And I'm one of those people. I don't have a heart condition, but I have a temperament. Mm. I have a temperament that if I'm not careful, I could be very destructive. And I'm a person, I don't like being destructive. It ruined my marriage, and I just don't want to have those feelings. I don't want to get those kind of feelings. Cause yeah, it ruined my marriage. It ruined my relationship with my stepdaughters, and anything that could make me mad, I want to avoid. Okay, I'll think about it. Is if I'll think about it, but yeah, from what I've seen of people playing it, I've seen people rage quitting it. So it's one of those things where it's like if I see people where it's like where they're smashing their computers, no, I'll avoid it. Yeah. Well, the only reason I got Divinity was I think I bought like the box set. Well, not the box set, but it was like it was being sold as all the games were being sold as a set. So I went and bought them all. Uh, let's see here. Hmm, I forgot I had that one. Al Qadim, the Genie's Curse, which is kind of like a Zelda-ish kind of D&D game, from what I remember. I was going to go back to Baldur's Gate, but for some reason the game isn't playing anymore because I downloaded it and then tried to then press play and the game wouldn't start. So I don't know what's going on. It could be my computer's causing the problem. Let's see. Icewind Dale, Knights of the Chalice, Pillars of Eternity. I just might go back to Pathfinder. I don't know. Mm, Shadowrun. You mentioned a JRPG on my channel. Yeah, I get attached to my parties if you haven't noticed, especially if I start calling them by their character names. And yes, I have played Final Fantasy, the first one, which is the only one I beat. Well, I give a little leeway to those because those originally were American games, but yeah, technically they are JRPGs, and I have had a few JRPGs, but they were D&D related. The reason I don't want to play Final Fantasy is because I've played them all already. Well, up to I think I stopped at 12. And yeah, it was I played them all. I've beaten 4 of them. I've beaten the 1, didn't beat 2, never played 3, uh 4, 5, 7. Actually, I think I've beaten quite a few of them actually. Didn't finish 8. 10 I didn't finish. Didn't play 11 because I didn't have online at the time. And I played 12, but I only played it for about 15 minutes before taking it back. And the reason I don't want to play Final Fantasy games anymore is because of the convoluted, stupid stories. But yeah, the first one, I actually did enjoy the first one. I will admit that I enjoyed the first one, but after that, when they started making it more about the stories than the role playing, you know, which is probably why I the biggest difference between a JRPG and American CRPG. An American CRPG, the English version of two. Well, actually, the Japanese version of two, when it was finally released over here, when they did the uh, re-releases over here for the PlayStation One, which is pretty much how I played most of them. And three was the only one I think that wasn't released. So because they had the one where it had one and two, and they had one that had four on Chrono Trigger. Then they had five and six. and then they finally went and had, you know, I think it was 7 and 8, and those were I bought 7 and 8 at the same time because I just got myself a pla I had just come back from boot camp. I I was in the Army for a little while. I just got back from boot camp, and one of the first things I did was I bought myself a PlayStation and bought, Final Fantasy 7 and 8, which 8 had just come out, and so I bought them both, and, uh, yeah, I don't know what became such an addiction for me because 7 was alright. I mean, it had some great perks to it and stuff that I would say, you know, but, I was indifferent with 8, and it was mainly because I hated Squall. And 9, I was actually fine with because it was kind of what would you call it? Trying to think of the term here. It was kind of an homage to the original, overhead games, top-down games, but, yeah, it was, how would you put it? I didn't particularly care for, 10, mainly because I hated the whole, water polo game that they had in it. Yep, I know. I know the whole story, and I think I rented Final Fantasy for when I had the NES, and, because I was one of those kids, I couldn't exactly afford, unlike some of the other kids I knew who could afford, like, the latest game, their parents would get them the latest game at the drop of a hat. Um, I was one of those kids that, my grandmother would buy me, like, a cool Nintendo game, but I usually had to earn it, and you can guess I was always in trouble in school, so I didn't exactly earn a lot of the games, so but, I ended up with, like, Super Mario Brothers, 3, 1, 2, and 3, I think it was Mega Man 3, Dragon Warrior 2. Well, they're called Dragon Quest now, but, I don't think I got any of the Final Fantasy games. I think I only rented Final Fantasy. Spelljammer, yes. Understanding it, no. I think I have to find I think I have to find a PDF on the manual and, read up on it before I, start playing it on the channel. Because I played it, it works fine. It's just, learning how to command your ship is the trick. Dragon Strike, the PC version, I can't get to run properly. Dragon keeps crashing the moment he launches, and, I can't figure out how to get my weapons to work in any of the, Dragonlance side scrollers, and I can't find a PDF on any of the, control commands anywhere for the PC versions. I may have to resort to playing the, NES versions, but I really don't want to, 'cause, from my understanding, they're worse than the PC versions. And I've seen, a guy playing them, Noah Antweiler, he used to call himself the Spoony One on, YouTube, and he some of his earliest videos, and it's like 10, 11 years ago, and he played, the Dragonlance side scrollers, and the first one he hated with a passion, and it was mainly because there was next to no graphics in it, color-wise. But the sequel he was fine with. and but it was still a chore to play for him. And it was basically just a game review that he did. He didn't actually play the whole game. And he said that there's no real markers in the game. You can't really tell where you're at. You can't since it's a side scroller, you can't really build a map anywhere. You don't know where you're going half the time. And then he goes, finally he finds something, but then found out he went into the wrong direction the whole time. And I'm just sitting there going like, I don't know if I want to play something like that because watching him rage on it, I'm going sitting there going like, I'm not sure if I want to rage on it. And I own the games now. I bought the silver box games, and most of them don't work. Yeah, let me look it up real here. Oop, you were just saying something before I clicked it. I played Dark Souls when it first came out, and then I took it back the same day after about 20 minutes of nearly hurling my controller into a wall. And I haven't touched that game or any of the sequels or sequels or whatnot since, or homages to the game since. I won't touch it with a 20-foot pole. Let's see here. I think yeah, we also got Death Keep on there, which I think I couldn't even find the way out of the first room. I might have to look that one up. Al Qadim. I'm in talks with maybe having bots and blasters joining me for Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1 and 2. Because I think it'd be more fun because I played it by myself and I wasn't exactly having enjoyment of it. Um, so I think with a fellow adventurer in game, it might make it more entertaining for me anyway. Um, Me so much as I couldn't even get past the first few guards. I couldn't even make it to the first boss. It was like I had no idea what what I was in for because um, I think I was like fresh off of Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 3 or 4 Oblivion. I was fresh off of that, so I was thinking Dark Souls was going to be more of that when I bought it, and I was in for a rude awakening. So when it got to when it got to that particular point, I'm just sitting there going like, oh hell no, this isn't going to work for me. Especially when I was on edge with a collapsing marriage at the time, and that was around the time I realized I had to be really careful about what kind of games I played. Like I said, I couldn't even make it to the boss, and there I am playing the game in front of three little girls, and I'm getting ready to rage quit. It's like, yeah, I went and got a different game and enjoyed that. I forgot what the other game was, but I remember I enjoyed it immensely more. I think it was some sort of alien invasion shooter of some sort. I don't remember the name though. The hell was that? Let's see here. Oh, Yeah, exactly. I'm not as you have noticed when I play RPGs, I'm not much in the mood for running half the time. It's like I'm here to fight and get XP. Why do I need to run away? And I think that was my main problem with that game was like the backing up strategy just wasn't in my head. So uh, I'm going to take about a 10-minute break. Um, I think I would play music, but apparently I got copyright striked on my last one for music I play regularly anyway, and I pay a Patreon for that music. And he doesn't even know why I got copyright strike on it, and they're still arguing over it. So it's going to be dead silent in here, or you might hear some television from the other room. I don't know, but give me about 10 minutes, and I'll be right back. Ready for a couple burritos? And after I feed you, I'll be closed again. All right. Do you want a microwave or do you want an airplane? I want them like air frying. I like that. But I would, do I still have the red sauce and yeah, and the green sauce? Oh, yeah. You want those two? Yeah. All right. What am I gonna get for a soda? Well, they should be cold at this point, so either cherry cola or yeah. Okay. I'll go get things prepped. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You may have to bring me a deal of maybe water. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, maybe want you to bring me a shot of the tequila. Okay. Now can you hear me? Okay, I'm about 5 minutes late. I'm sorry. All right, let's see here. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry I was a few minutes later than I thought I was going to be. But in about a half hour, I am going to have to leave for just a couple of minutes to clean up after my dad's dinner. Yeah, no problem. I took a little longer than I thought it was going to take, and I ended up cutting my finger while I was at it. Paper cut. Anyways, so what was I going to bring? Oh yeah, I got stuff behind me. Yeah. I haven't really talked about what's in this chest here. Of course, we got this thing right here, and basically what it is in it is whoops, sorry about that. Bonked her on the head with one of these little fancy coins there. Let me see if we can get a better angle so you can see them, but there we go. There's about 50 of these, I think. They'll go in here, and if you okay, there's a eye on the bag. Where I ordered this from. There's like a whole bunch of stuff I've ordered and I have no idea where I got them. Usually it's like a little advertisement pops up on. Why? Oh, because I bonked her on the head with a coin. These are like, they feel like the old Chuck E. Cheese coins, weight wise. Little tokens. So there's no real weight to them. The only problem is I gotta pick them all up now because I have to kill to get coins. Actually, I bought them off of some website that popped up on Facebook one day. It just happened to have it was selling this with the little dragon eye thing in there, which is kind of cool because if you look at it at certain ways, it looks like it's looking back at you at different angles. Kind of like those statues in the haunted house or haunted mansion at Disneyland. Oh, paper. I've had paper cuts before. The only thing it'll do really is cause a little bit of a discomfort during fapping later. Wait, pretend like I didn't say that. Brush for modeling. I don't know why that's in, or not modeling, but miniatures, painting miniatures. I don't know why that's in there. Okay. Probably seen this little boy before. Yeah. When I was working at McDonald's, I was always burning my knuckles on the grills. Anyway, this is from, you might recognize this as a replica of the compass from Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay. Well, those are just stretch along things. Might recognize this from Goonies. Got this last year at the Ren Fair. I've already seen that in my video. I don't know why I have a couple of miniatures in here. My yes no coin. Well, there we go. We got key to Erebor. My steel dice, like I showed in. Ooh. Still there. That was scary. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, it switched the computer off. Well, not off, but switched it to sleep mode. Fortunately, the camera was still going. So, yeah, I was showing that. Well, it says no. I've had it in the wrong direction, so there. But if you flip it out, it's on. Yeah. Let's see here. I believe this is the key to Davy Jones's chest that has his heart in it. I believe that's what that's from. I forgot what this key was for. I believe it had something to do with the Hobbit, but I don't remember what. Okay. Got a lot more currency here. We got that. Yeah, this is a little chest here. You got like a whole bunch of trinkets and stuff from various fantasy movies and whatnot. And of course, we got a whole bunch of these little coins here, which I showed off at the Fresno Numismatic Coin Society. Dwarf coins, various kinds of coins, all fantasy based. Of course, you can't go anywhere without the One Ring. Yeah, exactly. Actually, I think it was to the jail cells that the dwarves were locked up in Desolation of Smaug. Okay. This is a bunch of maps that came with the box set for the Elder Scrolls games. soon as I can get it to open. There we go. Here's Tamriel in its entirety. And this one was for Arena. Yeah, I wanted to get a Mimic chest, but every time I have the money, they're always sold out. Here we got the map for Daggerfall. You can see the little holes in them right there. I used to have these nailed up to my walls at my apartment when I was living in an apartment. This is the map for Daggerfall. Of course, then we got Morrowind. A little bit of a tear there when I was trying to take it off the wall. Here's Morrowind. I don't know what happened to the box that these came in. It was basically a box set of the DVDs or the CDs of the games before I switched everything over to Steam. And of course, then we got Cyrodiil. Do I got this in the right one? Yeah, I think I got it. Yeah, there we go. Here's Cyrodiil. And of course, last but certainly not least, the game where everybody Fusrodawed the shit out of everything, Skyrim. Which, surprisingly, if you look at the maps, has the least amount of details on it. Which kind of surprised me. I think Morrowind was the one with the heaviest amount of details. For some reason, I got these two miniatures in here. Don't know why. I think it was because I was prepping for a game at one point, and those were going to be in it, but the game never ended up happening. Story of my life. Actually, what I'm looking into is an Innkeeper one, but I might look into that one. Large size 12-sider for some reason. But yeah, this is always sitting right behind me, right next to the 5th edition stuff right there. And Shadowrun, which after I got that box, I really haven't bought anything else Shadowrun-wise. I should, because I really want to get a Shadowrun game going. Yeah, that's what I was got sitting back here. And a journal for players or DMs, which I don't think I'll ever use. I just got it sitting back here for looks, pretty much. 2 cooking books, Shadowrun, bunch of starter game boxes, and a whole bunch of the manuals. Of course, we got Clue up here. I think I mentioned that the guy that carries around Boo and Baldur's Gate is on this. In fact, I think all the characters around here that are in the Clue game are from Baldur's Gate at one point or another. Now, of course, we got Thermashot and a couple of other things. Indiana Jones miniatures. Of course, the Marchand's Lament from Hellraiser, and The Cup of Christ in the back there, which is funny. I got the Hellraiser box and I got the Cup of Christ sitting right next to each other. I forgot to grab me something to drink while I was at it. Oh, well, about a half hour I have to head out and grab my dad's stuff anyway. Do it then. Hmm. And of course, we also got this came in one of the dungeon crates. I have no idea what this is supposed to be for. Yeah, I'll bring it up in this. Yeah, this thing right here. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be because it's got like half a map here, and it's got pockets in here for stuff. I think it was meant for like paintbrushes or something, but it's made out of leather. Why would I want to put paintbrushes in here? Henry Jones's diary. I think I did a unboxing for this thing, so I'm not going to do it again. It's a pain in the ass to put back together. Yeah, Hellraiser. If you've seen the movie Hellraiser, you've seen this. And I used to have another one, but it was hollow. I had another one that was hollow. This one's solid, and I broke that thing years ago, but ended up getting this one as a replacement. It's roughly about the correct size this time, and has some weight to it. So I gotta remember how I open it. There we go. It doesn't do much. It's not like the movie one. The most it does is it actually comes apart like this. You rotate it. Is it the other way? There we go. And then you do that, and there you go. That's all it really does. But in the movie, it opens up and does like puzzle stuff and stuff. Well, I've solved it several times, and no, nothing really shows up. I used to have uh, like a book series called Book of the Damned, and it was basically kind of like a monsters manual of all the creatures in Hellraiser, not just from the books from the movie, but from the books and the comics. Because they actually had a comic book series of Hellraiser. It was kind of an anthology. It was weird. And of course, like I said, Cup of Christ. But they kind of messed up right here because it doesn't sit steady. It kind of wobbles, which I guess would be fairly accurate considering the time frame it was in. So I guess it should be like that. And of course, I forgot to mention Thermoshod, which I forgot who sent this to me because I kind of described from in what was it, Honor Among Thieves, that he looked more like a chubby cat than a dragon. But yeah, I used to have a whole bunch of stuff. I even had like the short story that Hellraiser was based on. which kind of described Pinhead as being almost like transgendered because it's described him as having feminine qualities as well as male qualities, and you couldn't really differentiate where one started and the other began. And it wasn't just the head; the pins were pretty much over the entire body. Well, I'm seeing on they're all there, so maybe they will be joining me. I don't know. I actually met I think his name was Doug Bradley many years ago. It was at it was one of the larger Comic Cons that was here in Fresno. He was there. The guy that played Wes in the Road Warrior. I'm trying to think of his name. He was there. The guy from The Hills Have Eyes, the original one, the bald one. He was there. And I don't know if you've ever seen any of the Phantasm movies. Reggie Bannister, he was also there, the bald middle-aged ex ice cream vendor. He was there too, and I remember getting all their autographs. And you know what? Most of them didn't even charge for it. They just, happily gave you an autograph and without any question. I'm still deciding. I haven't gone through GOG yet, so. But I was mentioning Stone Shard right now because even though I'm playing Wizardry while it's in its particular stages, Stone Shard I think is still in there itself. But from my understanding, they're saying it's supposed to be released officially sometime this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the what they call the prelude, and yeah, the prologue, Stone Shard prologue, which I guess is the demo. And I'm going to be playing that on one of my Friday night randomness videos, which will probably be a few weeks from now. Or might even be next week. I don't know. So Stone Shard's up there right now. To my understanding, like I said, I think it's coming out this year because there was a video I watched the other day that mentioned it. Okay. And like I said, Diablo is out, so I'm removing that. Okay. I might go back to Dragon Shard. What do you think of Might and Magic? Because I got pretty much the entirety of the core series, not the strategy series, but the main series itself. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I think there's a 10th one around somewhere, and I was told that one wasn't very good, not to even bother with it. Never got into it. Okay, so that might be up in there. Yeah, desktop. Don't need that one anymore. Hide game. Hmm. We also got what is it? Crystals of Arborea. I don't think I know why I even bothered with that one. Oh, that might be why. Check out the video. Minus the music. Hall of first person games. Hmm. I um, I think I might have to come back to that one later. Okay, then we got Ishar 1, 2, and 3. Realms of Arcania. Okay, so I might come back to those. All right, let's go out of GOG, go back into Steam. Okay, we also got El Qadim, The Genie's Curse, which is a D&D game. Not going to touch Baldur's Gate right now. We're already playing a Bard's Tale game. Okay, of course we got Divinity, which I may or may not get into. Going back to some D&D games, we got Dark Sun, Kryn, and Ravenloft. Any of them just tickling your pickle any? Okay, I might have to hold off on Arcadia then. Let's see here. Grotesque Tactics, I'm planning on going back to anyway. I'm just giving it a break right now. Pillars of Eternity. That looks like another Baldur's Gate wannabe type of game. I might actually just try a Spelljammer in earnest. Stonekeep. Why did I get this one? Okay, let's go to the store page, take a look at that. From one of the designers of Fallout and Fallout 2. Now, is this a group or individual? Okay, I may have to look into that one later. That one just looks kind of weird. It looks like the original Mortal Kombat graphics, and they turned it into a dungeon crawler. Yeah, it's kind of a weird looking one to me. Like I said, it looks like it's using Mortal Kombat graphics and turned it into a dungeon crawler. I might hold off on it. Maybe try it out for a Friday night randomness just to see if I like it, and then we'll go from there. I think I paid only like $3 for it, so if I don't like it, it's not a total loss. Yeah, I might take a look at it just for wow. The hot girl in the bikini with the horned helmet. I might just do it for that. Okay, and then of course Stone Shard Prologue I'm going to be doing for Friday Night Randomness. I was going to do Wasteland, but then I got sidetracked and totally forgot I was even playing it. Of which I can do two different versions. I can do the remaster or the original. Oh, so it's one party member. There's no party. It's well, not one party, but one adventurer, I should say. Okay, and then of course, after Wasteland, we got the Abundance of Wizardry games, which of course is 6, 7, and 8. You might have noticed I've stopped playing Wizardry 7 because I wanted to put more focus on Wizardry Proving Grounds for the time being. I'll get back to 7, trust me, but I really wanted to focus on Proving Grounds, and when I go to 7, I'm still thinking Proving Grounds. So, or 6, Wizardry. I keep saying 7 because that's the one I'm so familiar with, but I mean to say Band of the Cosmic Forge. I'll get back to it, I promise. But yeah, right now I just want to focus on Proving Grounds. I think yeah. So we got 6, 7, and 8. Labyrinth of Lost Souls, which apparently had its last update in 2020. And we got Wizardry: The Five Ordeals, which it's still in its beta stages. I think I bought it, just thinking, oh, it's Wizardry, and I bought it, and then turned around and found out it's still in beta testing. So I don't think I've even touched it really. Oh, it got a Steam Award of Best Game You Suck. Whatever the hell that means. Kinky. The fun part, you get there by dying. It's your spirit that is actually doing the dungeon crawl. So basically, you're in purgatory. Okay. Is it finally out of beta? Because, yeah, the last beta update was back in December 13th. And then did another update on the 12th, or the 22nd, excuse me. It did again on 22nd. But gave no indication about it being beta or not. Although it does mention that you play it. Yeah, I've never actually. I think I like play tested it one time, and that was just I went through the character creation, and that was it. Um, Yeah, that's oh yeah. Well, I'm not. I may buy some new games here soon because I'm always trying to keep the roster full. And I got about 17 games on my wrist. My I got the hiccups now. But Stone Shard's on the wish list. Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, I'm iffy on because right now it's like $30 for it with mixed reviews. Knights of the Chalice 2 is on here, even though I got Knights of the Chalice, but I have yet to play it. And then there's a series of games called Avernum, which for some reason I have all the entire series on here listed because they're all about ranging from $20 to $5 a game. The second game in the series is $20. The first game is $10, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 is all $5. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. I may remove those because I'm just not really sure I want those on here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and remove them. At least for now. I got a couple of coming soons on here. Which, oh yeah, with the DLC. I always love it when you're in the beta test and they already got DLC for a game. And of course, the game in question is the Wizardry with Wizardry: The Five Ordeals with Prisoners of the Battles, and Absence of Misericordia. But I got a few coming soons on here, which means they don't have any real information other than what the game is about. Heroes of Loot, Gauntlet of Power, Innkeep, and Tabletop Adventures. Oh, what do you have it on my wish? I wasn't looking at this, so I don't know which one you're referring to when you say it. Because I didn't when I was reading the list, I couldn't see with the chat room. Sorry. So if you'd be so kind as to clarify what it refers to. Really? I always find that weird where when they do stuff like that. Why not just make it a separate game? Why make it part of a different game? Yeah, I actually bought it because I wasn't intending to, but oh, you were talking about Fiverr deals. Yeah, I bought it, but I really haven't played it, so. But yeah, there's a couple on here that I thought I'd give a shot at least for the channel. And then there's a game called Tabletop Adventures. Let me see if it. But this looked interesting to me because if you look it up right now, it's called Tabletop Adventures. It's basically It's a tabletop Dungeons and Dragons scenarios with a narrator and all that stuff, and you got miniatures and all that stuff, and it's all in computer graphics. Planned release date is to be announced. Says here, Tabletop Adventures is meant to look and feel like an actual role-playing environment that you would set up at home and play with a pen and paper, dice, miniatures, map, tiles, and imagination. Game uses familiar rules and takes you through a generated story with random changes to make things unpredictable for maximum replayability. Since the game is single player, you won't have to find friends with flexible schedules in order to start playing. You control 4 heroes and partake in a voice narrated story in a video game that emulates tabletop board game actions. This is not meant to replace your favorite role playing game, but to get you through the week while you wait for your next tabletop adventure. Yeah, so I figured, yeah, it might be a little interesting. And then, yeah, these are games that are still on the, what do you call it, coming soon list. They don't even have price ranges or anything. Nothing's announced on them. Then we got Inkeep. The weary pilgrim has a new master of the house. It's you. Time to wear an apron, put on a warm smile, and rob your guests. Of course, you'll need to cook them something to eat first and give them plenty to drink. Only supplies are short. What with how dangerous the roads have become, hopefully they don't recognize the taste of mountain rat. A little water in their wine won't hurt them either. Then you'll have to tell your guests a good joke or two to win their trust. Maybe share a few rumors that will make it easier to get nice and close so you can listen to their conversations and learn who among them are the best targets. Then when they are drunkenly asleep at night, you can sneak into their rooms, rummage through their belongings, and take their ill-gotten gains for yourself. So basically it's a game where you play a crooked innkeeper. And then we have Heroes of Loot. I don't even know why I put that on here. Randomly generated action RPG shooter with heavy roguelike elements. Mow down thousands of dungeon-dwelling creatures and survive as you descend deeper into the dungeon, enhancing your gauntlet of power with new and upgraded weapons. Why did I even pick this? I must have clicked on something else thinking this was it. I'm looking at it and I was like, I don't even see this as being entertaining for me. Yeah, it looks like a knockoff of Zelda, but yeah. Anyway. Don't think that would be fun for me to put on a channel, though. Yeah, I think there was even a couple of board games on here too. Waterdeep, I think, was one of them. Which at one time I was going to try to convince CJ to join me on, maybe some other people, but it was like the more I thought about it, I'm going like, yeah, we're playing a board game on a computer. And I'm not sure if I want to subject everybody to such a thing. Considering it's more of a strategy game than an actual D&D game. Which those ones always bother me when they pull that stuff. Like, what was it? The one of Dragon Shard. I mean, it has all the D&D elements in it, but when they add the whole strategy thing to it, it's kind of odd for me, even though they even build it like it's supposed to be party members, but then you only have one champion at a time, and I find that odd. Let me see if I can find that one. What was it? I'll just put Dungeons and Dragons. That'll help me find it easier. There's a Darkest Dungeons too? And oh yeah, there's a game that everybody's telling me do not touch with a 20-foot pole. And that is Daggerdale. And at one time, I think I was wanting to play this, but it's unanimously voted no by several people. Mm, what is that? Okay. It's a Torque EBB. Okay, I'm going to download that demo and we'll play that. That looks interesting. It's a game called Esoteric Ebb, spelled EBB. And demo's out right now, so I'll probably put that up, see what we got on that one. Okay. Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms. Is that the game you were talking about? Midwinter. And apparently they're throwing in Baldur's Gate 3 characters in there. Oh yeah, apparently they got a new champion, Karlach, in it. Hmm. Dragon Map Maker. Yeah, Lords of Waterdeep. That's what I was talking about. It's basically it's the board game. Basically, you play one of the Lords of Waterdeep, and you hire adventurers in that one to do your work. Hmm. And you can buy for $10 plus get a couple of the expansions for a couple bucks each, or just pay $4 in total. I'm doing roundabout on the prices because it's usually like $3.98, $9.99 crap, and I don't want to say all that. I might look into it later as a personal thing, but I don't think I'd make videos out of it. And if I do, it'd probably be just random crap I throw on, uh, well, Friday night randomness, if anything. What? What? Let me look at that again. That's back here. Well, it is free. Like, okay, it says free, but I'm seeing a lot of theme packs on here. Yeah, about $167.84 worth of DLC. But at a guess, I'd say you didn't buy any of that DLC. Oh, I'm pretty sure I'll have my ass handed to me. Because as far as I kind of remember, the new version we're playing now is it's almost holding your hand. The new version, and I would say a lot of the time, some of the challenge is not there because of certain things they do for the game. But I do remember that the original games had steep challenges, much like Six does. Uh, when I've been playing that one, because I know for a fact it's like you could die in the very first battle if you're not careful. Which I think I did that. Very first time I played Wizardry 6, I think my party died immediately. That's what I figured. So, if I do play it for the channel, what I'm going to do is I am probably going to throw it in at some point with one of my Friday night randomness just to say, yeah, I'm playing it, but at the same time, yeah. So, what I'm going to do is clicking install, accept. So yeah, that's how I'll probably do it if I do videos for this game. That's how it'll be done. Is I will throw a video or two for Friday night randomness. And how I'm doing things right now is the first Monday or first Friday and the third Friday is when I do a live stream. All other Fridays will be Friday night randomness. Will you quit petting my foot, please? She wants outside so she can go eat again. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to call it a night at about 7 minutes, mainly because I'm getting tired, my eyes are getting heavy, and she's getting more and more antsy. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I don't think the other two are going to be showing up, even though it says they're there. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be joining me tonight. But yeah, I think yeah, if we do like I said, if I do idle, that's how it's going to be played out. It's downloading right now. Well, apparently it's already done downloading. It's already at 100%. Yeah, it's done. So I'll check that out. It's a Torque Ebb demo. I'll check that out. And there's one more demo I wanted to put. Oh, yeah, there it is. Stone Shard Prologue. Okay, so yeah, I got those are probably going to be on next week's Friday Night Randomness. Yeah, I haven't played it since the last video, but I'm probably going to be playing it here pretty soon, and that's going to be the Good Guys, I believe. So yeah, I'll be right after Pool of Radiance, and before I go into fantasy, I'll be getting back to Wizardry and playing the Good Guys. Oh, the evil chainmail. Okay, so thank you for giving me another migraine to add to my collection, and that is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. So I don't know what to expect from that. You're showing me items and stuff, and yeah, so it's going to be a couple of demos. I'm probably going to play that for the channel and a couple of other things. So, uh, oh yeah, and I'm going to be playing Wizardry 1 as well. So that'll all be on one video. A giant's toenail. Ew. That's got like foot fungi and stuff in it. Anyway. Yeah, I think we'll cut this short at 8 o'clock. I don't know what my problem is, but I've been getting plenty of sleep, but my brain's just sitting there going like I need more sleep. It's like I can't seem to get enough sleep. Oh, there's the silver boxes. I wanted to see what the does it tell me? Okay. Shadow Sorcerer, Heroes of the Lance, Dragons of the Flame, War of the Lance. Now, War of the Lance, I believe, is a strategy game. But yeah, the trilogy of action games is Heroes of the Lance, Dragons of Flame, and Shadow Sorcerer, which I believe is more in the lines of a strategy game itself, but it's part of the three games there. Hmm. Well, at least someone was nice enough to download the PDF for the War of the Lance. I'll have to go through that later. But I got it now. All right. Do my pick. Unlimited uses. Nice. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, tonight's been kind of a quiet night. Not as excited as I was last week or the other week, but let's see here. Okay, but yeah, I'll have a Wizardry 1, Esoteric Ebb demo, Stone. I think it was Stone Shard. Was it Stone Shard? Let's go ahead and download that Stone Shard demo. And yeah, okay. That's probably do it for right now. Let's see how much memory I have left. Ooh, not that much. Okay, so yeah, okay. And pictures, videos. Boy. I think I'm going to just, I got 5 minutes, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and get going because I have no idea what to talk about from this point on. And my brain's getting fuzzy. So, thank you for everybody that did attend and didn't say anything, but watched the video anyway of me slowly descending into madness, which is the usual thing on my live streams. And I'll see you guys next time in the next video or another live stream. Until then, take care. Bye bye.